And we are so back. Hi, hello. It's been a while, I've come back to the channel, for you know, now cuz I felt like it's time for an update, Been on a hiatus, to say the least. And it's time to tell you guys a story. Before the story, though, I have to talk about and briefly review a perfume that has been with me on, you've already read the title, my trip to Japan. This is Bergamotto di Calabria from Acqua di Parma. It is a very bracing, clean, juicy bergamot. It dries down to soft musks, not very feminine or masculine. It's right down the middle. I want to say maybe it starts off a bit more masculine because the citrus here doesn't really come off across that like sweet, I want to say. And as you can see, the mini has gotten quite some love on my 17-day trip to Japan. Right, that has been a very, very brief review. There's really nothing more to say about Bergamotto di Calabria. It's a really nice fragrance, but it's not mind-blowing. Alright, so, trip to Japan time. Boy, have I got a lot to tell you. Sorry about the angle. The iPad that I usually use to light up this half is unfortunately occupied because I've organized some highlights to talk about on my trip to Japan. So first off, this has been the longest flight I've ever been on, period, I want to say, or maybe like as an adult, because as a kid I did fly from Israel to Canada for a bit, but I don't remember it. This flight I do remember. I flew from Fly Dubai to Dubai, which was like 3 hours, and then from Dubai to not Tokyo, not Narita Airport. No, we flew to the Osaka terminal airport, and it was 8 hours of just. It was awful, At least the in-flight entertainment kept me alive, As much as I have a lot of contempt for the Emirates and how they conduct their business, not like Emirates, the airline company, although they're a little suspect in other ways than just blatant consumerism, but the in-flight entertainment system in the Emirates flight really saved me, I watched Conclave and I watched A Real Pain. Watch both of those movies if you have not. I highly recommend them. Let's get to Japan. We land in Osaka. I am still in shock and disbelief that I actually made it to Japan. I get out the airport, I see like 2 or 3 people getting interviewed by, if you guys don't know, there's a program called Yuwa Nanishi ni Nihon Kimashita, or something of that sort, where they just come to airports and ask just random foreigners why did they come to Japan, and if you're interested enough, they follow you to do whatever you said you would do on your trip to Japan. I did not do that because I was with my family and I was deathly afraid of speaking to Japanese people at this time. So we go out of Osaka Airport and we get a transfer ride to Kobe. Kobe, a little more west of Osaka. It is the same Kobe as Kobe beef, and we will get to Kobe beef. But first we get to an unfortunately named hotel called the Oriental Hotel. There are multiple. This hotel was in the Kobe Mediken Park area. Uh, the Medican Park, wait, park, sorry, the Medican Park that the that particular hotel is named after, not that impressive, honestly. Like, it was fun, you know. There's a little magical, not magical, like there's a light show, some fountains over there every couple of hours, or like every half hour. Nice to see ones. Probably nice if you live in Kobe, but you know, take it or leave it. Again, unfortunately named hotel, looks very gorgeous. Look up the Oriental Hotel at Kobe American Park if you want to see how it looks. 5-star hotel, really, no complaints. Wonderful service. Great dinner buffet, which is where I first got a taste of authentic Japanese curry for the first time. You know, sorry about the lighting, guys. So, you know, very not spicy, maybe a little warm spices. You know, it's certainly spiced, lovely meaty flavor, goes great on rice. Swiftly became my favorite food across the whole journey across Japan that I was on. Yeah, wonderful. Breakfast there also good. I had a lot of curry when I was in Kobe. We then went on a hike across a mountain range in Kobe. Really beautiful stuff. It got tiring after a while because my parents' phones would lose connection because they were the ones with connection there, and we could not navigate a lot of the time, so we were just walking aimlessly until we finally found a way to get down. Wonderful place. Genuinely forgot its name. If you really want the name, just ask me in the comments. I'll look it up for you. But right now, drawing blanks. I just know that it was beautiful. So we go down. Next up is the Kobe Chinatown. Very nice Chinatown. You know, very Chinese, yeah. We sat down at the first Chinese restaurant that we saw when we entered the Chinatown, which was right near this nice little circular kind of pagoda slash bench. We had some deep fried gyoza, which were delicious. We had Peking duck. I had it for the first time. It was very delicious. And I also had Asahi beer there for the first time. Very, very light beer, soft. It has this very nice aftertaste that kind of reminds me of rice a little. You know, maybe I'm just tripping, but that's what it reminded me of. And something a little funny happened where my mom wanted another glass of white wine, and the waitress thought she wanted white rice, and so she gave white rice. We didn't understand what it was, and then her boss laughed at her for confusing it, which was very funny at the moment when we all realized what had happened. When I'm saying it right now, it just isn't as funny, but you had to be there to see it, right? There are more Chinese restaurant shenanigans, funnily enough, and the next one is a lot funnier. But yeah, Kobe Chinatown was great. You know, there was some shopping there. My younger brother bought a DSLR camera, which he has used thoroughly throughout the Japan trip. I didn't buy anything, I want to say. No, I didn't. And then, what I really liked about Kobe was this twofold, actually. So, for dinner in Kobe, we went to a teppanyaki place. Teppanyaki, for the Americans, I want to say, because they might be the only ones who refer to it differently, hibachi. We went to a hibachi place, which, of course, specialized in Kobe beef. Very fatty, very nice. The accoutrements that came with it, you know, wasabi, real wasabi, much more solid than the horseradish that you get in other parts of the world. Incredible white wine from Kobe. It was very buttery. French style, you know, Chardonnay. Just went extremely well with the steak. I want to add the teppanyaki chef Arai was very nice, very friendly. He had us pose. He had us do the Kobe beef pose, which is just a fox with its ears drooping so it becomes horns. And then he had us say Kobe beef instead of cheese. Just really, really funny, really charming fella. I thanked him properly for the service. I had some things that I had never tasted before, and for me it's really incredible because I usually am very cagey about trying new foods. In the teppanyaki place, I had konjac, which is this kind of weird vegetable jelly thing that was just not very good, but at least I tasted it. Grilled mushroom, also not that good. Grilled potato, it's a grilled potato, very nice. Grilled eggplant, surprisingly I enjoyed it. And then the real surprise, because me enjoying the beef was really not a surprise at all. The real surprise was the grilled bean sprouts covered in Wagyu fat. That absolutely sent me. I did not know I enjoyed bean sprouts like that. Wow. Very crunchy, beefy flavor from the Wagyu fat, of course. Lovely. No notes, would come again if I ever had the money for that or a date I was trying to impress. The teppanyaki place that we were at is called Daiichi West, I want to say. And if you're ever in the Kobe area and you want a wonderful, like a 5-star teppanyaki dinner, the Daiichi West is my recommendation. After that, we went to the bar at the top floor of the Oriental Hotel. Again, unfortunate name, I know. Over there, I had, some pretty standard cocktails. I had the Moscow Mule. I had the Between the Sheets, which is like a sidecar with the addition of rum, which is actually a very nice drink. Go and order yourself a Between the Sheets if you're ever at a classic cocktail bar. I highly recommend it. I also had the Yamazaki 12, which is a very nice, mellow Japanese whiskey. I had it neat because, I don't know, it's too watered down for me to have it on the rocks, and with a nice glass of cold water, it was actually a very nice sipping experience. After that, I did have a Japanese gin. I had 2 Japanese gins, actually, one with tonic and the other drank neat. Both were great. I know it sounds like a lot of alcohol. My younger brother overtook me, and he had like 5 Long Island iced teas with 5 or 6 shots of Jägermeister. He went dead. He passed out. He threw out. He didn't like pass out, but like he was groggy as hell. He threw up on the pillow, which he didn't even remember. He just saw the stained pillow. I know, too much information. It was really funny when it happened. Afterwards, I did give him a medium amount of hell for it. So yeah, that was Kobe. Very wonderful experience for the first city I've ever been in Japan. After Kobe, we went to Himeji, which is where I got my first taste of a Buddhist temple. I believe it was called Engyodo. Don't quote me on that. It's where, I was thoroughly impressed by the Buddhist art. The architecture, very kind of Buddhist, and not inspired, just very Buddhist. I got there my Goshuinsho, which is a stamp book exclusively used for religious sites in Japan, both Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples. And I got there some stamps. I got the Buddhist stamp for the main hall of Engyodo, which was called the Maniden, I want to say. Very lovely place if you're ever in Himeji and you don't want to go to Himeji Castle, which we didn't enter Himeji Castle itself. I highly recommend the Engyodo. That might be what it's called. And after that, we went to have lunch at this just random tanmen spot In Himeji, I didn't get the ramen because I was a little too scared, so I got some gyoza. The gyoza was great. Um, yeah, Asahi, great beer. What can I say? We went to the Himeji Castle grounds and we explored the garden that is near the Himeji Castle. Very beautiful. It's divided into a lot of tiny sub gardens, which has a lot of different elements to it. You know, just not like Zen gardens, you know, there's no like sand. It's a lot more like ornate, a lot more aristocratic as it is a castle garden, more Chinese inspired than, you know, what you might think of as Japanese aesthetics like wabi sabi and the like. Very nice. Very, very nice. You know, a lot of koi fish were there. Just very, very pretty. But it didn't really impress me that much because I'm more of a shrines and temples guy. I really want to tell you. So, my notes after the castle and the garden, that was pretty much it for Himeji. So we booked it to Kurashiki, which is the westernmost point of our Japan trip. It is near Okayama. It's famous for its canal streets, kind of the Venice of Japan. In Kurashiki, not much has happened. We were at a nice hotel again. We went to a Japanese izakaya, which is their version of a pub. I hated it. Let me be really straight with you. It was not a great first impression for the izakaya. It's a chain called Hana no Mai. If you know Hana no Mai, you would know what I'm talking about. Food there was inedible if you ordered the wrong thing. I had karage, which was pretty serviceable, and some nori salt chips. Nori is, you know what nori is? You eat sushi, but it's the dried seaweed. So yeah, food, meh. Drinks, meh. Staff, just doing their best, really. They live in bumfuck nowhere, and these foreign tourists come up trying to explain what their problem is, and you don't know English. So I'm with my broken Japanese, them with their broken English. Really didn't work out. The evening, not good. I do not recommend Hana no Mai. Just don't go there at all. And another highlight there, we were at a store that will pop out very often on this Japan trip called Big Camera. Big Camera. You know, big camera. Not big, like the big lighter. Over there, we got some wines, because my family is a wino family. We really love our wine, as you might have gleaned from how I talked about wine, and we ordered a whole bottle for the family in the teppanyaki place. So, Big Camera. God, it sounded weird. Big Camera. Very large store. That was my first impression. Why? Because that's the first time I've ever seen a store that's like two or three floors, and it's the whole store. You know, it's very unheard of in Israel for like a department store. You know, like everything of everything. It's where I got a Casio watch, the Casio watch that you're seeing right now. In fact, very pretty, very sophisticated. Quartz movement. I'm not gonna bore you with the details. If you do want the details, again, comments, I'll oblige. Yeah, wonderful watch. Will last me for years. Can services outside of Japan, so you know I'm gonna live there eventually, and this will be serviced appropriately in Yamagata. So that was Kurashiki. Not much to say about. It's just where we lived. We did go to an outlet there. We bought a lot of things there. Sunglasses, hats, whatever. It was an outlet, not too remarkable. Yeah, Kurashiki, just good for like a day trip. And then Okayama, same deal, although a little better. We went to the Okayama Castle, very pretty. The garden that was attached to Okayama Castle, again, very pretty. A lot of nice plants, a lot of fish. A turtle. We saw a turtle there. That was also really cute. Before we left the Okayama grounds, we saw a beautiful young couple getting their wedding photos. They were both in, the traditional Japanese garb. The woman was wearing a very nice kimono, and the man was wearing a very nice hakama. Very fancy, very ornate, very expensive, I must imagine. I congratulated them in Japanese. They kind of laughed, said, "Thank you so much." Very cute couple. Obviously will not share the photos. I want to respect their privacy. My younger brother did take photos of them because he is a scamp. But yes, after that we went to an Italian restaurant. It's called Stellina. It was run solely by this one guy called Handa-san. Handa is a goat. The food there was very nice, kind of his own interpretation of Italian food. A lot of weird fruit inclusions, grapes, kiwis, in places where I thought they should be. But again, who am I to judge? My family enjoyed it. I enjoyed the cracker pizza, and the bread was homemade, which was really nice. The dessert was also really nice, not really Italian. He just gave some ice cream, a little financier, and a Japanese pudding. Very nice, Handa-san. Impeccable service. If you're ever in the Okayama area and you want to see a little peculiar, queer little place, go to the Italian restaurant Stellina. Very, very memorable place is the word I want to use. Very memorable. After Okayama, we went to Kyoto, one of the historical capitals of Japan, certainly in their history. It is the second, roughly the second Heian. It was what it was called, back when it was the place to be. Kyoto, wow. It is a beauty to behold in the appropriate times. We arrived in the afternoon, accidentally pivoted to one of the largest attractions there, Kiyomizu Buddhist temple. Very beautiful. Unfortunately, too crowded. So we went the opposite way, which was also very crowded. It was raining. The weather was very bad. I did not enjoy that first day at all, actually. Yeah? Well, that was a lie. We also went to the Yasuka Shrine. We saw the Yasuka Pagoda. All very beautiful places. I got my stamps in my stamp book. And yeah, hang on, I would see. Yeah, just the first day wasn't too eventful. We had some guests over for dinner, just some stuff from like a supermarket. First day, unremarkable to a little just troubling. We went to Nara after that, and Nara, oh my god, it was the first capital of Japan, at least in the history that, the highlights, the most important points. Nara is the first recorded capital. It's where the Empress Suiko, Prince Shotoku, the rules that he laid out, very pivotal documents in the history of Japan. Where Buddhism came in to Japan. All this happened before the first written record of Japanese mythology, Shinto as it's called today. The Kojiki was written 200 years after the reign of Shotoku and Suiko and all these emperors that adopted Buddhism. So very interesting stuff, at least for me, the guy who majored in East Asian studies. We saw the deer in Nara Park, very annoying, very evil. I do not enjoy the deer at all. They were just pests. They pestered me, they headbutted me. I do not trust them. They're evil, I do not ever look a deer in their eye, okay? They will think you have food and they will nag you. Do not look at those deer. They pretend ill upon you. We went to a Buddhist temple. I think it was Kofukuji. It had 3 halls. Very beautiful. Cost me a little bit to get in. Lovely, lovely iconography. I'm a huge sucker for Buddhist and Shinto designs, and their how they convey their um their deities, or their important figures, divinity, and just grace. Wonderful stuff. Just, if you're in Japan, you have to visit some Buddhist temples and Shinto shrines, and go a little off the beaten path. Don't just go to the big ones like Todaiji and Kasuga Taisha in Nara, which I also went to, which we'll get to like in a bit. So Kofuji Temple was nice. I stopped at a food festival that was just happening in Nara. I gorged myself silly with some karage with cheese sauce, which was very, very indulgent, and certainly helped with my weight gain, which I need to work on. Some yam fries? No, some satsuma potatoes, which were a little sweeter because they also had some brown sugar on them. And a very nice craft beer. The people at the beer stand were very nice. They kind of worked with my brokerage Japanese to recommend me a beer. I know, just lovely people in Japan, very lovely people, if I haven't made it clear by this point. So yeah, Todaiji Temple is what comes after the food festival. Todaiji Temple, one of the largest temples in Japan, has the largest Buddha. The largest Buddha in Japan. Very, very aristocratic. Very opulent. It is just, if you enter Todaiji Temple, the first thing you're greeted by is this just golden, just awe-inspiring statue of Siddhartha Gautama, seated there with this kind of aura glow around him, a lot of bodhisattvas kind of on the side. Just an awe to behold. The Todaiji Buddha, incredible. Got my stamp over there as well. The lady at the stamp, she was just trying to do her job, probably swamped. She kind of, no, I'm not going to say anything bad about her work. She gave me the divine power in the stamp, so I'm happy about the stamp. After Todaiji Temple, we went to Kasuga Taisha, the large Shinto shrine in Nara. And my god, Kasuga Taisha, when I went there, it was raining, and the rain just contributed overall to this kind of holy, supernatural vibe over there. It almost made one to believe in the divine. Like, genuinely. The lights, the lamps, the architecture there, you just walk there alone in almost silence. You're still surrounded by a lot of annoying tourists. Yes, I realize I'm one of them. Just let me babble on. It just kind of creates this air, this atmosphere that makes you, at least made me, want to shut up, take no photos, and experience the shrine as is. Wonderful, wonderful experience. I enjoyed it a lot more than Todaiji. I enjoyed Todaiji a lot. So to cap off our day trip in Nara, which again, really nice, we went to have lunch in a Chinese restaurant. Remember when I told you that there would be more Chinese restaurant shenanigans? Yep, it's here, it's now. I got stuck in the bathroom of the Chinese restaurant. I tried to open the door once, tried to open it twice. On the third time, I just gave up. I called my mom. I said, "Hey, I can't get out. Could you ask them to get me out?" And my mom, obviously not knowing any Japanese, she's like, "Well, how the fuck am I gonna explain it to them?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. You gotta work on it. Your only translator is stuck in a toilet." When the staff heard, just lovely Chinese grannies, they burst out laughing. When we went to check out, to sort the bill out. When the grandma saw my face, she cracked a smile and laughed. She told me to do my best. Ah, such a lovely little place. I can't tell you what it's called. It's in some side alley of Nara. Wonderful Chinese grannies. Wonderful lunch. No notes for what it was. And you'd expect that we would go back to Tokyo since that's where we were staying after, we got done at Nara. But no, we stopped at a little town around the Kyoto area called Uji. If you know a thing or two about Japan, you know that the best matcha comes from a town called Uji. And that's what my goal was, to experience Uji matcha. We got some matcha rice crackers and some bags of tea, which I thought was matcha, but no, it's genmaicha. And that was really funny that I just couldn't understand which of them was matcha. So I have just some things that aren't matcha at all. It should be delicious though. It's just bummed out because I didn't understand what the tea was. You're selling not matcha in the place for matcha? What are you doing? Anyway, after that, we went to a cafe in Uji that sold matcha, and I didn't buy matcha there because I thought I already bought matcha, and I'm beating myself up for it. I ordered some very quality matcha with some very quality matcha dango, some sweet rice dumplings. And oh my god, in that moment, I fell in love with the matcha flavor. Warm matcha, no sugar. It's the flavor you just have to experience. It is the kind of grassy thing that people talk about, when they talk about matcha lattes. But the flavor is a lot more pronounced. The flavor is a lot airier. It is more just nuanced. It kind of washes over you. It's not that kind of sweet, cloying thing that you get with matcha lattes, which I do still enjoy. Do not get me wrong. It's just you have to experience real matcha, hold the latte, and you will not regret it. My family did. I was the only one in the cafe that enjoyed my matcha experience. They thought it tasted like piss. Which, more matcha for me, so who am I to complain? That was us finished at Uji. We went back to Kyoto. We then actually saw Kiyomizu-dera, at like 6 a.m. And the Kiyomizu-dera temple, I couldn't get in because because it costs money to get inside after it opens, so that sucked. And then we went to Fushimi Inari. That was great. It was a journey because me and my mom, we climbed up the entire stairway to the mountain. It's like 40 minutes of walking uphill. Then you have to walk forward downhill. It destroyed me, but I really enjoyed the experience. It definitely became sort of spiritual in a way. It was a pilgrimage in itself. Just climbing up to the summit of Fushimi Inari. Again, if you have the guts, the wherewithal to withstand the grueling 1,000 something steps of Fushimi Inari, I urge you, do that journey early, like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., okay? You will not regret it at all. Or maybe you will, but at least you did it. I enjoyed it. So from Fushimi Inari, we went to a nice temple, which I forgot its name, I want to say it was Kyoto? It was Kyoto, yes. A temple, which I don't remember the name, but it was near the Philosopher's Walk, which is this trail that kind of meanders to no particular direction. That's why it was called the Philosopher's Walk. I saw a shrine there, which was 860 years old, kind of off in the middle of nowhere. I got a very lovely commemorative stamp from there to celebrate their 860th birthday, which again, a shrine that's 860 years old is insane. Do you know how old that is? That's older than the United States. That's older than God. That's older than That's older than a lot of things. 860 years old? 800. The oldest perfume brand that is still alive today is Santa Maria Novella, and I don't think even that was around 860 years ago. Are you insane? Huh? What have you ever... Wow. Okay? And that thing was just there. Just there. Nobody was in it except like the girl, the woman that did the stamp, and that's it. There was like 2 vending machines, the prayer thing, and just us, the family. Wonderful place. It's one of the shrines near the start of the Philosopher's Walk. Just very nice. I'm so glad I got the stamp from there. On the Philosopher's Walk, we also went into an ukiyo-e store. Ukiyo-e, for those who don't know, is a wood print style of art that was popular around the Edo period, which is from the 1600s all the way up to 1868 is the exact date of when historians agree that the Edo era ended. So yeah, I got a very nice painting from Hiroshige, one of the ukiyo-e greats. I will not show it now, but you can see it's kind of there laying because I don't have anything to hang it up with as of yet, but very, very nice. The grandpa that was there, very nice. He really enjoyed that I knew a lot about ukiyo-e. He really enjoyed that I was from Israel because they really do not get a lot of Israeli people over at that store. But the highlight of the day, the final day we had at Kyoto, was this little wine bar somewhere in Kyoto called Howen. Howene. Wow, incredible place. Very chill vibes. The owner Makoto has all these vinyls that he plays, and just for everyone's enjoyment. He had some of my favorite artists on there. He had Nujabes, he had American Football. Shout out American Football. Had my dad's favorite artist too, Sting, The Police. Wonderful evening, great wine. It was organic, which I usually don't drink, but he somehow made me like organic wine. Just incredible, incredible thing. We went to dinner afterwards at this conveyor belt sushi place called Kurazushi. Had sushi for the first time. Kind of enjoyed it. Don't know yet if I really like sushi as a whole, but it was nice. Oops, sorry. And yeah, that was Kyoto. Thoughts on Kyoto? It grew on me. Started off middling, then ended with a really, really nice time at Howen. If you have a chance, go and visit that wine bar. It is sensational. After Kyoto, we went to Kanazawa. Pretty north. It's kind of northwest Japan. The place had a lot of Israeli people, which ticked me off. On our way from Kanazawa Station to our hotel, there was this weird taxi driver that did not want me to speak Japanese to him. He just kind of said, you speak to the little AI thing, and that's how we communicate. Just all around very weird individual. Eccentric, yeah. I didn't really like him, but he had his quirks. I kind of respect his thing. Went to some old town sites, some temples of the Buddha Amida, some like tea store alleys, just a lot of really old things. Nagamachi, the samurai district, just very, very kind of par for the course things to see in Kanazawa. At the end of the trip, on the first evening of Kanazawa stay, we were at this very, very local sushi place with a very grumpy Itamae, the sushi chef. He really did not want us there, but through some things, like my Japanese and my father's relentless drive to demolish a whole roast sea bass, we actually managed to melt down the sushi chef's exterior. You know, he's cracked a smile, okay, and he only did that because I think he's a little racist to the Japanese customers. For us, he was like, "Yep, sanpin, yopin, kopin," and then, you know, just he was grumpy. But then I saw him smile. How the hell did that happen? You know. And, you know, two of the customers there complimented my Japanese, which I think was my first ever. It was the first ever compliment that I ever got in Japan about my Japanese, or maybe second ever, but they actually meant it, because the way they phrased it, I won't get into the language specifics now, meant they actually meant it. It was not out of, you know, politeness. And it was just an incredible experience. I, again, can't remember the name of the sushi place for the life of me, but if you're ever in Kanazawa and you browse Tabalog, one of the highest places there is where I went. Just remember, they may not be too kind to foreigners. So either brush up on your Japanese or do not go there. Or maybe, you know, just kind of act respectful and they might like you. But again, old racist men. What can I do? The day after, of course, saw more sights. We went to Don Quixote for the first time there. If you guys don't know, Don Quixote, another big, huge department store. Got lost there a bunch of times. Got out eventually. I hate the theme song, the jingle of Don Quixote. Don, 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 Don Quixote. That shit gets stuck in your head so fast. You wish it would end, but it doesn't. It just creeps. It settles in your mind like an earworm, and you want to get it out, but you can't, because it's Don Quixote. Jesus Christ, the little penguin can. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm crashing out. I have to relax. After Kanazawa, which, nice place, nice hotel, nice curry. Yeah, we also went to some castles there, some temples. Blah, 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 yada, yada. Just wonderful experience, wonderful food. Off to the next place, which was Shirakawa-go. It is a reconstructed village made up of these peculiar houses with thatched roofs, like these very big triangular thatched roofs, from various villages around the Shirakawa area, which created a UNESCO heritage site. The place was very nice. I got some award-winning pudding from, let me just get this for you, from the Shirakawa Pudding House. I also kept this nice little jar that contained my pudding. I really enjoyed this jar. It's very pretty. It was a regular custard pudding. They had a pudding jelly hybrid, which won them their award, but I hate jelly, so I skipped out on it. Yeah. After that, we went to Takayama, where we stayed at a very nice hotel with a Japanese room. That means tatami, no beds, just futons. We had a traditional kaiseki dinner, which was a lot of courses, which I did enjoy the taste of, but it was very interesting. You know, some wagyu of the area called hida beef, which was very nice. A lot of raw seafood that I did not enjoy. A lot of vegetables that I did not enjoy, but I at least tried some. The desserts were weird. There was a limited time amuse-bouche, which was a fried red bean pastry, and a tempura fried potato, which were very nice. It was for the festival, which, yes, the Takayama Festival. How was it? It was complicated, you know. I really enjoyed the floats, because they do have a lot of floats. It was very slow. The music, very meditative, you know. That kind of thing, just kind of kept repeating in various kind of dissonances and harmonies. And it was just a lot of people kind of squished up, trying to see these floats going around. Very beautiful and elaborate floats. I will say they were very beautiful and elaborate. But like by the fourth float out of 7, I just wanted call it quits. Please just finish it. But I know it's their faith, it's their festival, it's their folklore. I'm just an intruder there, okay? It's not my place to change what has been there for either thousands of years or hundreds of years, depends on how, when these traditions were codified. It's just, I don't think festivals are for me, mostly because it's way too many people for me. I am an introvert and I do not like being squashed and yelled at or just yelled by so many people, So much noise. I was overly stimulated in a bad way. Festivals, go to them if you like people. After Kanazawa, after Takayama, Jesus Christ, the whole thing feels like a blur. After Takayama, we had a half-day stay at Nagoya, which, Nagoya was very, very boring. It is famous in Japan tourist circles for being the one place with nothing to do, and you go there just so you lay over before going from Tokyo to another area or from another area to Tokyo, because it's the kind of public transport hub to get from one side of Japan to the other. And yeah, we went to the Toyota Manufacturing Museum. Very interesting. Did you know they made textiles? I didn't know that. The textile part of the tour was more interesting to me than the car part. That was still pretty nice. After that, we went to a nice soba place, which, soba is a noodle that's a little thinner than ramen noodles. And sometimes it's made with buckwheat flour, sometimes it's not made with buckwheat flour. I got ansoba, which is a soba made with a starchy broth, and I got it spicy. Let me tell you, about the spicy ansoba. I thought the Japanese did not know ball. They know ball. They killed me. My taste buds were on fire. It was delicious. I loved every minute of it, Jerry. But it was just... This particular spot knew what spice meant, okay? My younger brother as well got the least spicy level of what they call their spicy soba. And he didn't know if the least... it was ordered by numbers. He didn't know if one was the least spicy or most spicy. I asked and confirmed it was the least spicy. So, that particular soba place in Nagoya, no ball. I think it's called, Ueda Seimeiten. That's what the soba place is called. Go there if you're ever forced to stay in Nagoya. Then, after Nagoya, Tokyo, the big Tokyo. Very interesting place, very overwhelming. Shinjuku Station, I hate Shinjuku Station. Do not ever, listen to me, do not ever go to Shinjuku Station. If you are there, you will never get out. At least, not at the exit you actually want to get off at, okay? What you will, get off at other stations, Shibuya, Ginza, other stations. Just don't ever go to Shinjuku Station. It is a death sentence for foreigners and even for Japanese people who don't live in Tokyo. Whew. Another small rant over after Shinjuku Station, which we hated. And some shopping here and there. We went to a nice wine bar called Pluribus. And it was a very nice bar. Very nice wine bottles. Food service, extremely slow. They wanted to keep us drinking more and more. At the end, we really just wanted to get out. And, the layout wasn't that conducive to the staff servicing us, because they just shoved us in a cube where the door just closes on you. Which was very, very strange. Next time I'll be there, if at all, I'll just get a counter seat or, by a place where they can see us. It was just strange. However, the night did not end at the wine bar. Where did we go after that? It's a little known place well-known place, very well-known, called the Virtue Bar. It is on the top floor of the Otemachi Four Seasons, very luxurious hotel, I know, and the bar itself was to die for. Their cocktails were incredible. They have some light and refreshing things like this gin drink based on yuzu, and it has yuzu bitters, and it was just wonderful. There was this Sazerac, their take on a Sazerac, which came in a little glass carafe, very beautifully designed, and a little sake cup with a little cherry in it, and they infused a lot of things with sakura, and that's how they made their Sazerac, with some Japanese absinthe. I know, very, very nice, aroma-wise and flavor-wise, wonderful. Then I had this other drink, which, wow, I hate Manhattans, okay? Another tangent, I'm sorry. Manhattans, awful cocktail, usually very medicinally sweet and this kind of weird aroma to them. Do not enjoy them, usually. But what they did, they used Yamazaki whiskey, which, I enjoy. It's a very mellow whiskey, not a lot of off flavors when mixed with vermouth. And it did work with the vermouth here. They added another brandy adjacent spirit called Benkibran, which is their kind of brandy adjacent Japanese spirit. And gold leaf, and wow, just incredible service from Ryan, this one young just waiter, and just he was incredible. I also had a waffle there with caviar. It was so expensive, but goddamn, was that caviar good. Big thumbs up for me. Go to Virtue Bar. Genuinely, if you have the time, even if you don't, make time to go to Virtue Bar. This is an order if you're ever in Tokyo. Go to Virtue Bar. Period. After Virtue Bar, we went to sleep, of course. But then the next day, we went to, not Otemachi. We went to Omotesando. Saw some nice places, very luxurious stores over there. We went to have lunch at a 2-star Michelin restaurant called Narisawa. The food there was literally the best food I've ever eaten. I got to drink 2008 Dom Perignon, and that wasn't even the highlight of the day. All the food there, impeccable. I got the sake and wine pairing, which again, pairings were incredible and all done by the chef. Also very incredible. Service, wow. I would happily go and eat there again because the menu rotates there and I'll have different things. Narisawa, another, you must go there. If you have the money, don't bankrupt yourself by going to Michelin star restaurants, but if you have the money, do. Oh my god, Narisawa, incredible place. I got a selfie, no, I got a photo with the chef. He was a very lovely person. From what I would consider one of the best points in Japan to one of the worst, I went either a day after that. Yeah, no. Sorry. Not a day after that. It was on the third day, which came after a brief stay in Hakone, which I'll talk about later, because I want to talk about all the things I did in Tokyo first. The Ueno Zoo! Oh my god, the Ueno Zoo. It is disgusting. It is gross. It is outright abuse of animals. If you ever think about going to Ueno Zoo, do not go there, okay? All the animals there are kept in enclosures way too small for them. They are all suffering. They're morose. They're silent. They're all just there waiting for the day their life ends. I wish hell upon the owners of the Ueno Zoo, and if it's the government, they need to get off their fucking asses and do something about that fucking animal death trap. Oh my god. I hate everything that zoo stands for. Jesus Christ, Japan has a horrible track record when it comes to animal things. Do not look up anything related to animals in Japan if you want to have a good day. Capiche? Whew. We then went to Ameyokocho, which is next to Ueno, this kind of big, not shopping street, kind of market-sized street, you know, a lot of cheap clothing, memorabilia, meh food, you know, the kind of food that you get for cheap and is from the market. Just, I wasn't really impressed by Ameyokocho, I'll be real with you. It's just another one of those market streets. If you like market streets, it's good. If you don't like market streets, it's not good. Just meh. But again, it's meh for Japan. You know, if I saw the same market street in Israel, I wouldn't even dare to go near it, for reasons of which I won't elaborate on. After Ameyokocho, I got myself a new iPhone. That's what I'm recording myself on. Hello, this is the iPhone 17. Why did I get a new iPhone, you ask? My old iPhone had a big problem. This little thing, yeah, dead. Why? I don't know. The SIM detector just decided to die on me. And so, yeah, new phone. Very nice. The lady at the Apple store was very nice to me. She struck up a conversation with me about how I know my Japanese, anime, all the good stuff. So shout out Saori. You were incredible. Very nice. And then at the end of the final day in Tokyo, which was before we went to the airport, we had some delivery ramen, which, let me tell you, there are 0 delivery ramen spots near where I live. There's one that's kind of good in Tel Aviv, which is, you know, quite a ways drive from where I live, which is Ashdod. Shithole, by the way. Don't ever come to Ashdod if you, for any reason at all. But yeah, we got delivery ramen. It was surprisingly good. I don't know how they managed to do that. They had all these little compartments separating the toppings from the toppings from the noodles, from the broth. It was all in separate containers. And oh my god. Sorry that I'm going Thing Japan moment right now, but yeah, very delicious ramen. But before the final day in Tokyo, we went to a place that is sort of nearby called Hakone. Hakone, mainly a resort town, but it does have some sights to see, like Owakudani, which is an active volcano. Smells very, very disgusting. A lot of sulfur there. You know, it is very nice. Cold at this time of year. Rained a lot. I did not enjoy that. I got a very nice souvenir from there. If you know Sanrio, I got a gudetama, which is colored black, because Owakudani is famous for their black eggs, which is just regular hard-boiled eggs that they boil inside the volcano. So it kind of takes on this black color. Flavor doesn't really change. It's just a regular hard-boiled egg. I do not recommend it. We also went on the little pirate ship thing that they got. View, incredible. People, too many. Ugh. We went to what I think was the highlight of the Hakone trip. This little attraction called the Venetian Glass Museum, which a lot of nice glass sculptures, glass artwork there. Just a very nice place. Why Venetian? They kind of modeled it to look like a little Japanese Venice, but like not a Japanese Venice. It's like a little Venice that's in Japan. It's all very Italian looking. Very nice, quaint place. We went to the jam store that they had there. Picked up a couple jams, a couple spreads, a couple candies. Very nice place. Very nice place. Go to the Venetian Glass Museum if you ever got the time. Wonderful place. Wonderful. The best Hakone has to offer. Except, of course, onsen. They had an onsen inside our apartment. You know, just a little square with hot spring water, which I enjoyed for like 10 minutes or so, maybe like 15 minutes. After that point, it kind of started getting a little too hot for me, so I had to get out. But yeah, I rate onsen. They are very nice to be in. And then to cap off the Hakone stay, which will also cap off this very, very long video, we went to an outlet store, bought a bunch of stuff, got a lot of clothes. I have too many new clothes, and I need to sort out what the hell am I going to do with the old ones. because all the new clothes I got were stunning. They're stunning. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Whew, that makes it about an hour worth of video, I want to say. If you've stuck around for this long, genuinely, thank you so much. I have zero editing here, so there's really nothing stopping you from just clicking off eventually. Sorry, it's just so hot, you know? Anyway, to end off the video, here's a preview of what we're gonna have a review of eventually. What is it, you ask? If you've been on the Rich Mitch Discord, you might know that I got myself a little thing when I was at the Narita airport on the way back. It is an Hermes, as we all know from this. It is an Hermesance, as you can tell from this. And it is none other than Cuir d'Ange by the wonderful Jean-Claude Helena. That's what you have waiting for you the next time I decide to get off my ass and do something. So yeah, that has been the brief review of Bergamotto di Calabria and a very exhaustive overview of my Japan trip. If you've enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys eventually. Bye-bye.